I think this is a question I would ask any owner at this particular moment in time. Covering the NBA for the last quarter century, basically, the way that I have, I've encountered owners whose definition of winning obviously are championships. But have been owners and are owners, Tilman, where if you're simply competitive every year and you're in the postseason and you have a chance, that's their definition of success. A, what is your definition of success? And B, do you have a problem with people who have that latter approach towards success in the world of professional sports?
That's really interesting. I hope those other 29 owners in the NBA just want to get to the playoffs because I'm going to be shooting for the championship. So I would love for them to be like that. But, you've heard me say this before. You can't build a team that you could say automatically we're going to win a championship. As great as Golden State was the last 5 years, they still won 3 championships and lost 2. And so all you can do is build yourself a team that's one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the whole NBA every year, and then you hope for a little luck that your guys don't get injured, their guys do. You're in the right playoff seed to get that 7th game at home. It takes a little luck, so just try to be one of the top teams every year because that's our goal at the Houston Rockets.
Tilman Fertitta, owner for the Rockets, right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio, ESPN News, the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Tilman, how are you feeling about your Rockets now that they have Russell Westbrook? This is a team that was in Game 7 of the conference finals a couple of years ago. Chris Paul goes down in Game 5. You ultimately Golden State captures Game 6 and 7. And then you have last year, obviously Kevin Durant goes down. You guys are in position to win the series, but you still ended up losing in 6. What is Russell Westbrook going to give you in concert with James Harden that you didn't get over the last couple of years?
Well, you know how unhappy I was, number one. And this is what you have in James Harden is truly one of the greatest shooters of all time, a guy that can put points on the board. What you have in Russell Westbrook is, and this is a fact, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, transitional player of all time in the NBA. My guys showed me the statistics and the analytics on Westbrook and what he's able to do in transition. And I think it's going to totally change our team and the way that James now has a guy to transition back the other way. I think you're going to see what we're able to score points-wise if we continue just to take good shots and to play the way that we have. We've got a great new defensive coach in Elston Turner who is putting in a lot of new schemes. And it's an exciting year for the Houston Rockets. But it's going to be an exciting season with the new Clippers and the new Lakers and the new Utah Jazz and the good Denver team and, of course, always Golden State, that I am so looking forward to the competitiveness. Even the New Orleans Pelicans coming in is going to be an exciting game.
I got to tell you something. Elston Turner's a damn good coach. He's been around for a long time, been an assistant for many, many years under Rick Adelman all of those years, Portland, Sacramento, stuff like that. The man knows what he's doing, so that's a really good pickup on you guys' part. But I'll ask you this question about James Harden. James Harden's absolutely phenomenal. He was my league MVP. It wasn't the Greek Freak. He was my league MVP. He was sensational last season. But you do have people that look and say that's regular season. Postseason, he tails off a little bit, holding the ball, ISO ball. That's not going to work in the postseason. That's not going to deliver a championship. They look at Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, the most athletic point guard in the history of the NBA, but somebody who has shot less than 30% from three-point range at least the last 2 or 3 seasons. Any concern about those two elements at all derailing your championship aspirations?
Well, it is what it is, but I can tell you this, okay? And we looked at what you say about James and what you just said about Russell, but I'm convinced of this, okay? These two guys are both 30 years old. They're both under contract for the next 4 years, and if they're going to win a championship, it's going to be in the next 4 years. And talking to these guys, they're going to make the adjustments, whatever they have to do. I think that you're going to see Russell Westbrook do what he does best, and I think you're going to see James Harden do what he does best, and they're both going to correct and make their game better at what they do well and not do what they don't do as well. And that's what we're counting on. That's what they're counting on. And I think that's what the Houston Rockets are going to do this year.
Is it safe to say that you expect the relationship between James Harden and Russell Westbrook to be significantly better than the relationship on the court or otherwise with James Harden and CP3?
CP3 was a great player. We would have never won 65 and 53 games. He's one of the finest guys that I'll ever met. He's a great leader for the NBA. But he's 34, James is 30. And 4 years in the NBA is a huge difference in basketball years. It's not like it is in the business world. Westbrook and James came in together. They grew up in L.A. together. They known each other for many, many years. Was there good chemistry for James and Chris? Absolutely, there was great chemistry because we wouldn't have won all those games. But I think the chemistry is even going to be better for Russell and James, and I think people are going to see that this year.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.